Okay, so we're starting Sikos Haram 152. So we're going back. We're taking we took a break from Sikos Haram. Now we're going back into it.
I never learned this until
Okay, so I'm going to start to read. Ready? I heard that the Rebbe once said, one who is contentious in a previous life is reincarnated to be left-handed. Does everybody know what contentious means?
Absolutely not.
Argumentative.
Oh.
I didn't know either. I looked it up. Don't feel bad. Okay, that's why I made sure to ask.
Like a source of contention, like a,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Zohar states that Korach instigated a dispute because he wanted to switch right and left. Like he wanted to switch from right to left. Therefore, he was reincarnated to be left-handed. His right and left hands were transposed. In Sefer Hamidos, under the category of MS, truth, the Rebbe writes, one who is a liar in a previous lifetime is reincarnated to be left-handed.
This is mean.
Yeah.
I gotta tell this to my husband.
Yeah.
Liar
And argumentative. What?
It's different.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
Well, we're gonna learn about that. Okay. Rav Shmuel of Teplik once told me that when he was traveling with the Rebbe of Navarich, the Rebbe asked him, "How did you sleep and how did I sleep?" I slept on the subject of left-handedness. When the Rebbe had slept that night, he was involved in the mysteries of left-handedness. The Rebbe then hinted that this mystery includes the fact that the tribe of Benjamin is said to have contained 700 left-handed men.
Wow. So above my pay grade.
So it's above all our pay grades. I mean, I'm saying like we could go into reincarnation, we can go into all these things, but like I just feel like let's just focus on the here and now, like personally. I mean, I like, like I do like energy healing and stuff, and sometimes I hear things that energy healers like say to people about like, in your past life, this is why, like I don't relate to that. Like we know that it's true, and it's important to know that there is like, reincarnation, because sometimes people go through certain things in life or have certain traumas and they don't know why they behave they do, and like it's always good to know that the world is bigger than as we see it,
Yeah.
No, but like more than that I can't really comment. Okay.
I think it's better like that.
Yeah.
It's very weird when they tell you met Mashiach ben David already.
Right.
Like, really? I met Mashiach? Yes. You don't. I can't tell you, but you already met him. Like,
Right.
I don't want to know this. Okay.
Yeah.
You switch the thing.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
Yeah, because we got a piano.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had to move.
That looks
It
great,
looks
right?
so pretty there.
Thanks.
I love it there.
Yeah? Okay,
I
good.
know.
All right.
Actually, like, it looks
Fits
like
perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was going to
think it
ask
actually
everybody's
makes
opinion,
the
so thanks
mirror-
for...
I think it actually makes the mirror pop more.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, good. Amazing. Thanks for verifying, validating everybody.
But who's teaching piano?
I have a few kids that play.
No, but who's teaching?
Oh.
They're not learning anymore. They just play.
They, no, they're learning. They have, I'll send you the source. They have lessons. Okay, so now we're going to go into Lukuti Maram 51.
You didn't bring up piano.
You could buy one here. I just bought this.
That's why I didn't
Okay.
bring my dilapidated old piano.
Yeah.
But it's
Okay.
sad watching it go.
It is. Okay, Lukuti Maram 51. Okay, Amar Rebbe Akiva. Rebbe Akiva said, when you approach pure marble stone, do not say, water, water. As it is said in Tehillim, he who speaks falsely will not be sustained before my eyes. Chagiga. That's from Chagiga. Okay, so falsehood, because by the way, guys, we're talking about, I feel like I didn't explain this. Sorry, I got distracted. We're talking about truth. That's where like I want to take this year, because as we learned in the Sikos Haran piece before, like it said about how like if you're a liar, then you're gonna be reincarnated with your left hand, right, into being a lefty. So there's like truth is like, I think a good, Rebbe Nachman speaks about truth in a lot of places. I brought in a few sources. We're gonna do this source and a few others, but truth is a big thing, and Rebbe Nachman a lot of times like he compares it with simplicity also. Like he like brings it
Yeah.
together, like just being
It
simple
really is.
and
Like,
true.
When you start lying, everything gets so freaking complicated.
Right.
And
Right.
it just exasperates and snowballs so fast.
Right.
It's like
Right.
ridiculous.
And also, yeah, he wants to say
No, I
something.
feel like with this whole Hamas thing, like
Right.
this whole hostage deal, whatever, like so much of it is the reason it's so excruciating is because they're such
Right.
liars. Did you see that they gave them gift bags?
Yeah, with the picture.
I was like, that to me, everything is
Disgusting.
horrible, obviously, whatever. But to me, that was like
I did not know that.
They
It
each were
was
carrying a paper bag.
such
The
what, like
girls,
they were
the
on like
pictures,
a
and there were
necklace,
pictures of a
inside
map
the
with
necklace.
where they were kept. They were wearing a Hamas
A map.
necklace and,
Yeah.
and pictures of themselves in captivity, like horrible pictures.
Chutzpah, yeah.
the
What?
shot, the
That was their
shot
gift
in
box?
that
Yeah.
is like to me that's
Unfortunately, I've
like
been very busy with the news. Yes,
Yeah.
I was very busy. Yeah.
Me too, but I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
like liars and
Oh, and then
just
there were those
liars
white
and
tracks.
they don't even know, like they themselves are probably just so twisted in their lives.
So convoluted.
Ugh.
Right. And also what Rebbe Nachman said in
Can't
this
stand
in this Sikos Haran piece, he said like
Vicious.
yeah, for sure. And he said that also in the Sikos Haran piece, like contentious, like if you're argumentative, like it's both. Like you once and we're gonna learn it. He's gonna explain it more in this piece, but I just want to highlight it now, But like he says, like when things are truth is one.
Right.
That's
Right.
really what he's gonna like. That's what we're gonna learn from
Sometimes
this.
You have like white lies, and it's not exactly a
Right.
lie, but no, there's MS and there's
I
sheker.
feel
and
like
that's it.
people who are.
My husband taught me that
Right.
because I grew up with Israeli parents.
I feel like people
Oh,
who
yes,
are.
there is
Feelings
or
or
whatever.
we
it's
went to
not
hotels,
that-
my father would be like, את בת 12, אבא, אני בת 15. Make yourself shorter, make yourself shorter. Like pay
Right.
stuff for hotels. It's not cool.
Right.
Right,
And I love him, but that's how he grew up. He had to fend for himself.
Like it's not
Right.
blurry. The lines are not
I
blurry.
feel like
yes,
people
that's
no.
fine.
Right.
And I married
are
him.
very
He's like,
conscious about
like,
saying
it
the
is.
MS. Those white lies are something that they can't do.
Who is it?
I feel like people who are very conscious about MS and shakar,
Right.
those white lies are something that they can't do.
Right.
Because it's so.
But all right, and we're gonna learn here through this piece, like that's what happens when you see.
No.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Yes or no.
Right.
It's MS. Right.
When you guys see when people see things like more than one, like when it's not one, then that's where arguments come in. Like all of a sudden there's different sides. Like everyone just needs to stick to the truth, and truth is one. So we're gonna learn it inside. But that's kind of like a recap, intro to what he's saying. Okay. So Amar Rabbi Kiva, when you approach pure marble stone, do not say water, water. As it is said, he who speaks falsely will not be sustained before my eyes, from Chagiga. So just like Rebbe Kiva said, Rebbe Kiva said this to, like that story about the four, Rebbe Kiva and three others, like Acher, who went into like Pardes, and one went crazy, one became an apicorsis, one died, and Rebbe Kiva was the only one that came out unharmed. So he warned his fellow colleagues, these fellow tzaddikim, before they went in, like don't say, like when you see water, when you see the marble, like don't look at it.
Well, he said this as a reaction, like when he came out of the
He said it
paradise.
before. He said he warned them.
When
Because they wanted to
okay,
achieve
fine.
like these they wanted to go into Pardes and
Oh,
achieve
it was
these
like his parting words before
higher
the-
consciousness. And he's like, when you see the pure marble stone,
Oh, okay.
don't look at it. Okay? Because whatever, like that was really like the threshold of Hashem. I don't really,
I thought it was like don't lie, don't call marble water.
That's what I thought.
No, so it could be. You guys might be right. It was, but he is going to say that water, because that's what he says. Not say he who speak. It looks like water, the pure marble stone. So he who speaks falsely will not be sustained before my eyes. Okay, so that's like the quote that Rebbe Nachman brings, and then he's going to explain. Then he's going to go into his Torah, what he learns from this. For when the eyes, falsehood is harmful to the eyes, physically and spiritually, in the aspect of the eyes deceived, from Yeshaya. For when the eyes are dimmed, They create false impressions. They do not show a thing as it really is. For example, a large object appears small, and one object appears as if it were two, the very opposite of the truth. This is because the eyes become dim by tears, as our sages taught, the clouds return after the rain, from Koheles. This refers to the vision, which is diminished after crying. Okay, so just to recap it for a second, so Rebbe Nachman's saying here, right, that falsehood, basically, like, our eyes trick us, our eyes deceive us. And like I specifically wanted to bring in this piece because we like learned all about the blind beggar like a few weeks ago, you know, and it's the same theme. Like somebody was talking about how they went to the Blind Museum recently, and like they just like couldn't get over how, hey, welcome, how like their tour guide, like when it was over, how like she was really blind, and like how she looked, like their whole time they had this impression of what this,
know that she was blind.
You don't
or
see
maybe he knew, but he didn't expect her to look like that, you know. And then like the whole, like it's like our, like the second our eyes see something, we're ready to judge it.
Right.
We know how to categorize it, but it's all sheker.
Right.
Like it's lies. Like
Well,
who
here
says,
it
you know?
sounds almost like sheker leads to you not being able to differentiate between the truth and sheker.
Right. Well,
The
our,
punishment for sheker is is more sheker. If
right.
you don't see clearly, then you don't know anymore. The like right and wrong.
100%. And he's also gonna, and he says, did I read this part yet? Okay, and he says like the tears, our eyes become dim by tears. We're in Likutei Moharan 51.
Thank you.
Okay, we started a few minutes ago. So our eyes become dim by tears, and he's gonna go into like what these tears represent. Okay. So this refers to the vision, which is diminished after crying, from Shabbos. Tears stem from excess melancholy, which nature expels by way of the eyes, right? So like basically a lot of sadness, nature gets rid of it by crying, and then that's when our tears fall. And melancholy stems from polluted blood. And the blood is polluted by falsehood. It is impossible for a person to speak falsely unless he has already polluted his blood, just as it is impossible to speak truthfully unless he first purifies the blood. This is because the essence of speech is the soul. As is written, my soul went out when he spoke. So like you can't, without having like machshava, without having a thought, then like you wouldn't, like there's a plan, I guess, and you wouldn't speak falsely. That's, I guess, how I could explain this a little bit. And so the soul is the blood, as is written in Devarim, for the blood is associated with the soul. We see then that when a person speaks falsely, his blood is polluted. It is this that gives rise to melancholy, and from the excess melancholy, tears are formed, causing the eyes to become dimmed. Okay, it says more on this, but I skipped a little bit, and then I went to 2. The emergence of falsehood, which is evil, which is impurity, results from distancing from oneness. Okay, so like that's it. Like how do our eyes become dim? How does our blood become polluted? This is the answer. Okay, the emergence of falsehood, which is evil, which is impurity, results from distancing from oneness. And I said this a bit in the intro for this piece, but we'll learn it inside. This is because evil is a contrariety, as for example, like contrary. As for example, whatever is contrary to a man's will, he sees as evil. But in a state of oneness, contrariety has no place. Rather, everything is good. Right? So, like, again, like the falsehood happens when we're separated from oneness. When we see things like oh, this has an aspect of truth and this has an aspect of truth. Like, there's only one truth and there's only one Hashem and there's only oneness.
It all makes sense, because if you don't, it's almost like emunah,
Right.
like believing that everything's from Hashem, and then
everything is
if you
good.
don't have that, so then you have melancholy. Like you won't be depressed about anything if you believe that everything is from Hashem and everything is good. So if you lack that, so then you're depressed, so then you cry, so then you like,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It makes sense that one thing leads to the other.
It's all from fallen faith.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think he says that. I think we're going to read exactly what you said. Okay, I'll read a little more. Yeah, here. This is the explanation of what our sages taught. On that day, God will be one. It will be entirely what did I skip? Oh, but but in a state of oneness, contrariety has no place. Rather, everything is good. Like when you know that everything is good, there's not another side. This is the explanation of what our sages taught. On that day, God will be one. It will be entirely who is good and beneficent. From Pesachim. This is because where there is oneness, evil has no place. Consequently, truthful speech abides forever. From Mishlei, will be fulfilled in the world to come. For then all will be one, all will be good. Truth is one. For example, now it gives just saying silver vessel that is a silver vessel is the truth, but saying it is a gold vessel is false. We see that truth is one because the only true statement one can make about its substance is that it is a silver vessel, nothing more. Falsehood, on the other hand, is manifold. It could be said that it is a gold vessel or a copper vessel or any other designation. We see that when falsehood is the aspect of, they chased after many intrigues. So, everybody with me so far? Yeah?
Rachel, what's her name? Yeah, you saw that video? How'd you know someone?
I don't know, what other Rachel did we talk about?
That's so sad and so true.
Yeah.
So she put out a video. It was a clip from, I think, Meaningful Minute. And you saw it? And she was just saying, like, oh, I'm gonna cry. Hashem, I know Hashem is in control. I know Hashem orchestrated everything, and I know that it's all from Hashem, and that Hashem is with me every single minute, and
Wow.
and that's exactly what you're saying. Like,
Right.
it's recognizing the MS behind the atrocity. And
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. People but that's what it is. It's like the emunah of like understanding that Hashem is one and that Hashem is all good. Like it only leads to truth. And the second we fall into like, when I say Hashem is one, it means that everything is good, you know? But when we fall into like other things, that's when like
we get the solutions and such.
all the complications, all the argumentations, like we read in the original Sichos Haram, in our heads, like self-doubt. I'm not even talking about, not even talking about fighting with other people, like just like
Feeling confused,
all the confusion, all the self-doubt, all
use
the.
this as like a tool backwards. You know what I mean? Like if you're feeling confused or if you're feeling down or crying or whatever, to go back to oneness, like to understand that's where it stems from,
Right.
to help you get out of whatever. And
So in our next pieces, we'll see more about that, like in different Likutim Aram pieces that I brought in. But yes, for sure, like we'll learn about it. But he talks about how like you'll see like in the darkness. He says it in Likutim Aram 9, like in the darkness, like you'll see a little exit, and we'll get into it.
But is it darkness?
Confusion, yeah.
I don't feel like whatever we think is darkness, it's not.
Mm.
maybe it's your eyes, because like
Do you
your
know what
eyes
I'm saying?
are blurry.
Right.
Like when things seem dark, they're really
Right.
bright.
So maybe it's your eyes
Right.
that are blurry and you're seeing it dark because of the
No, it's
tears,
true.
because
I feel like when things happen, like they're so off, I think I tell myself, okay, this must be a present.
wow.
Because it's so
Wow.
off and such a crazy story. Hashem, you love me. I love you, Hashem.
Wow.
Why, wow. Well, how else? How does it make sense that such crazy things happen? It has to be the opposite of darkness, no? And then the more you see it, the more afterwards you get bracha. I don't know, it's weird, no?
Just talk to all these people who are screaming about the Holocaust, that Hashem is evil because
Oh,
of
my grandmother went through the Holocaust, lost 21 members in one day, and loved Hashem.
Yeah.
Wow.
Baruch Hashem, it's a big thing.
Right. It's a gift, you know, like I'm sure it's not a gift. I'm sure you've worked on it, but I'm saying like it's to have like a lot of emunah. It's like, it's a good thing.
I don't know, I just see Hashem everywhere I go.
Wow.
Bless me.
What?
Bless me.
I don't know, Hashem's amazing. Even like the darkness is not the darkness. Afterwards, sometimes we realize when we're in it, we're like, oh my, this is the worst thing that could happen to me. Afterwards, we're like, thank you, Hashem. No?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, what's wrong with you?
No,
Not what's wrong.
it's amazing. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, because you're not saying thank you Hashem after, you're saying it in it.
right.
yeah.
There's a whole book about it.
That's when you get
There's a-
extra shachar.
I think a Rebbe
Right,
Rush book
what you just said.
about thanking Hashem through your tzara, and then people see miracles. I think that's what it's called. Thank you Hashem, and then see miracles.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's actually the title.
It's out of the realm of normal.
It's not
So
normal.
even though it feels very bad for me, it has to be that you're
Like saving me.
doing something. I can always see that it's
Right.
the saving part, but
Yeah.
sometimes I understand the concept of that also has to be something specifically being done
It's
to me.
extra
for
ordinary.
When something
Yeah.
happened to me this summer that was nuts,
Yeah.
I came home and I was like, okay, listen, Hashem, this was. I said thank you because I don't know what I needed to be mechaper on, but thank you for this present because it was so outrageous.
Wow.
And afterwards, I just saw really bracha in my life. So
Wow.
Wow.
I think that when we go through that and we're able to thank Hashem, we get what you said. I like the bracha. Yeah.
Like when we go while we're having a
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm debating if I should continue this piece or move on to the next, but we'll read a little more. Okay, so the wolf will dwell, see it in the bowl, the wolf will dwell with the lamb and the leopard with the goat. They will do nothing evil or vile in all my sacred mountain, for the lands will be filled with the knowledge of God, from Yeshaya. Because of this, the evil and the contrariety and the tears will be eliminated in the world to come. As it is written, they will do nothing evil. Evil will be nullified, and it is written, the wolf will dwell with the lamb and the leopard with the goat. The aspect of elimination of contrariety. And it is written, God the Lord will wipe away the tears from every face, from Yeshaya. Like these tears of falsehood. Like there won't be, once Mashiach comes, there's not going to be, or in the world to come, it's just good, we're only going to see oneness.
Clarity.
Exactly. And it's going to be the eliminations of tears, which are the aspects of falsehood, as explained above. Like, they'll only be truth. I mean, yeah. For then it will be, God is one and his name is one, because he's entirely good and entirely truthful. Impurity will therefore be eliminated in the world to come, as it is written, I will remove the spirit of impurity from the earth. From then all will be one, as is written, who can turn impure into pure? Not one. This means the very holds which purity and impurity have derived from distancing from oneness. So, okay, so then, you know what? Let's just read 3 and then we'll skip 4. But, because it talks about like prior to the creation, like there was only Hashem, like there wasn't any division. But this is how we perceive it. Like, of course, it's still not division, and that's what's like. But there is some distancing that Hashem put between us and him once he created the world. But we'll read it inside. But prior to the creation, when the creation was still in potential, so to speak, before he actualized it, it was entirely one, entirely true, entirely good, and entirely holy. Even the designation pure was not applicable, right? Because there was no impure. Everything was just one. So, like, there's no, even pure is like not it's not like a fair assessment, you know? This is because purity implies only when impurity is also possible. As it is written, you'll be purified of all your impurity, from Yecheskel. But when all is one, the aspect of many intrigues, which is the essence of evil and impurity as explained above, has no place. For purity is a mean between holiness and impurity, through which impurity is rectified, as in you will be purified of all your impurity. This is also the aspect of free will, which is a mean between two things. Right? Like Hashem created this aspect of free will. Hashem created the world, and and we're going to learn about it. Like it was potential before, and then it became actual. Like Hashem actually created the world, and he made the separation. And through this separation, Hashem gave us this free will. And like the whole point of this free will and the whole point of this world is to like be in this impurity and in this confusion and choose Hashem. That's it. That's the goal. And like it's all, that's what he's going to go on to explain. But yeah. I mean, I specifically wanted to bring in this piece because like this is about Hashem's MS. you know, that Hashem is emes, Hashem is truth. And like us down here in our confusion with our eyes constantly deceiving us, like our whole point is to, and Hashem gave us these eyes, like, I guess, to deceive us in a way, you know, because that's part of the whole free will.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole, like it looks so real. Everything seems real that we see, you know, like this whole, whatever, so many different things. But it's all to just choose Hashem and to get rid of this falsity. Okay, I'm just skipping to 4. I mean, I just basically recapped this, but now I'm just going to skip to part 4 where it says, yet through divine providence, even after the act whereby the holy transforms potential into actual, everything remains one with him, and the evil nourishes from the residue of providence from over his shoulder as is known. He's far from oneness. Okay, here we go. This is the point I wanted to bring in. Yet by being truthful, a person gains hashgacha pratis, divine providence. As it is written, my eyes are upon the truthful, from Tehillim. But because of falsehood, which is evil, he turns away hashgacha pratis from himself, as in, he who speaks falsely will not be sustained before my eyes. His vitality is only from over the shoulder. We see, therefore, that when a person wants everything to be one, even after the existence of corporeality, somebody could have corrected. What?
Said that like it just.
Yeah, did I say that right? Okay, and after the act that I should because like we've had this word 100 times, but and everyone always corrects me. And after the act that transformed potential into actual, and that father and child should be as one, as it was earlier when in potential. He must keep himself from falsehood. By doing this, he earns divine providence, and then everything is one. But like when you see, like kind of Racheli, what you were saying before, like when you see everything as one, and when you like you see Hashem's hashgacha pratis anyways, like it goes hand in hand. Like there's no other way. There's no contention or hey Goldie, welcome. So again, like I think that piece is so powerful. We're speaking about like truth. So I just I think this piece is so powerful because like you see like Hashem's emes, like the seal, like everything is truth. It might look differently. We have a lot of tricks, you know, a lot of distancing that makes it seem in other ways, but always to just remember like Hashem is truth, and we with our free will need to choose that truth. And then we'll see like this hashgacha and divine providence. Okay, so then I also wanted to bring in, by the way, if anybody wants to add anything, feel free. But, okay, moving on. So I also wanted to bring in Likutei Moharan 9, and it's gonna, Torah 9, and it's gonna talk about tefillah. It's in, like, it's a pretty amazing piece.
You see the people that are not connected to Hashem are utterly miserable.
Right.
They have nothing to them. If you take away what their eyes think are important, oh, look what's going on. Their lives are over. They don't have their huge homes now. They don't have the Emmy Award with her blown up lips she's talking about. In LA. I'm sorry, it's very bad. I couldn't stop laughing.
What did they say?
Yeah! The whole face is a lip, and she's like, the Emmys are good. You know, like the Emmy trophy?
Right.
They can't survive this. Their trophy is gone. And I'm laughing, but look, the truth is they do work hard for this.
Yeah, they
but
do.
It's sheker.
Right.
I cannot
But
believe your
it's
trophy's
sheker.
back.
Right.
And we
Made out of
attach
plastic?
ourselves to the sheker,
Right.
our looks, which it goes unless you do the, I don't know what. then there's problems.
Yeah.
And look at all the people that are busy with the sheker. They're miserable.
Right. I read, it's interesting. I read in like the 7 Habits, like he's like, sometimes like, he's like, a lot of times like you could climb your ladder and you could climb it all the way to the top and be like, shoot, I'm on the wrong wall.
Oh my God, that's
You
so
know?
classic.
And it happens to be, it's called a midlife crisis. Like it happens to
That's
be.
why we made Aliyah.
Right.
I tell it all the time. I say we like we're reaching for this goal,
Right.
and like we were there, like had everything, and like we're just like
Now what?
Now what?
Yeah, like this is not the wall I
Yeah.
want to be on.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I
But
had
that's
my
what I was
practice,
thinking
like we
before.
had a nice
Before I
house.
was
I
thinking
love
like
the Aliyah story.
Yeah.
the whole thing,
We're just
like you could.
is it?
It's not just about being connected to Hashem.
Then what?
to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sometimes people think they're disillusioned that they're connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but it's
She
only
said the wrong
conditional.
wall.
It's only conditional. Like they're connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving them b'shafa, and when HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when everything's working out for them, and you know, and then they think, oh, I'm connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and you know. But sometimes it's not like an MS the connection.
But is it a test?
I think I know, it's so deep, right?
What is that?
Wow.
No, that's what I was just gonna say. I think that happens to us every day.
Of course.
Yeah, like
That's
it's not
part of growth.
them, it's like
That's
me.
part of
You know?
growth.
It's like I think that I'm doing great and I'm all, and that's what specifically I'm so happy you brought that in, because that's specifically why I'm bringing these pieces. Like, what's our truth? You know? Like, how do we get to our truth? Like, we think like, and Hashem has been so good lately at like pulling the rug from underneath us every second.
Past couple of years.
For the past couple of
Yeah.
years, like, and it's globally and it's personally, and I know that
But sometimes
everybody
we
on this
think
table has
we're
something to
nuts
add.
when we see the truth, because the people around us it's foggy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like so
Ah,
happy that we're learning this today, because like with the news in Israel and everything going on, it's so confusing and you don't know what it's like.
So confusing.
Like you're saying convolute, like that's what it is. It's
Right.
like you want them to come home, but the price is so high and scary.
Dangerous.
And like what's
Yeah.
what's gonna happen? And it's like, and then it's like, okay, just focus on like Hashem Echad, it's His plan. Like we can't, you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
don't.
Hashem should give us all strength. But that's like whatever we're gonna learn in our next piece, like it's about prayer. Our next piece is about prayer and truth, and like I feel like that's really like where we just have to turn inward, and we have to like really find our truth and be like honest, because Hashem's gonna keep on like testing us and like, oh, I thought I was amazing and close to Hashem and whatever words you want to use, and then oh wait, like I have a huge blockage here and a huge blockage here, and you only realize that when you're tested, you know? Otherwise,
Unfortunately.
you could live in disillusion very easily.
So
Maybe, you know what? Maybe other people could realize it without them being tested. But for me personally, I could only realize it when I'm, please don't test me. But I'm just saying, you know? Like, yeah.
But I heard a really interesting concept similar to the
Yeah.
letter of this whole idea of a rat race and this option of saying, I'm just not going to run in that race. And for me, that was like such a freeing concept of not pretending like, as long as I'm in it, I can't prioritize, I can't have the values, because the fact that I'm even running in the race is like,
Takes all the energy and focus.
my
Right.
value, yeah. But if
Right.
I can say, okay, they're running, but like I'm not going to run in that race, and then it's like such a freeing thing. And for me specifically, is like this whole thing with a nice house in America. Like that was really my goal. And I was a good person. I feel like I'm a relatively decent person.
Yeah.
Like as far as people know, you know, I don't think I'm horrible. But
You are. I'll
it was
confirm.
very good.
Yeah.
What's the goal? And it was, even if I have to have that in perspective, of using the big house to serve Hashem and of beautifying things, it was still, that was the race I was in.
Right.
And to be able to say, I'm not in that race anymore.
Wow,
Right.
freeing.
Not playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Love it.
So free.
Okay, so Likuti Maran, Torah number 9. Okay, it's also long. Let's see. Okay, Tomos Yichasemu, the deeps cover them. They sink into the depths like a stone from Shemos. I guess that's talking about the Mitzrayim, right? The essence of life's force comes from prayer, as is written from Tehillim, prayer to the God of my life. This is why a person should pray with all his energy. When a person prays with all his strength and concentrate his energy into the letters making up the prayers, his energy is renewed there. This